Hi, this is RJ with Single Dad Cooking, and the next chapter we're going to talk about is having the right sauces and things you need to have around your kitchen for everyday cooking. So when we talk about sauces, we also talk about oils, and the oil I like to use, hands down, just for a healthy heart, I like to use olive oil. Cook with olive oil, it's just healthy. That's what my doctor says. So I do nothing but cook with olive oil. And I'm going to say with an exception to when I'm going to do a stir fry and I need a higher heat oil. And that's a whole other conversation we can have on a recipe. But for my everyday cooking, I'm going to use and stick to extra virgin olive oil. It goes great with just about everything I'm cooking. And I bought it in bulk, which I saved myself some money on that. And again, most of these sauces that I'm going to mention to you are important to have for everyday cooking. So you got to have oil, and if you're going to cook with oil, cook with olive oil. The next off I like to have with my everyday sauces when I'm going to put some pop into what I'm cooking is I got to have Worcestershire sauce and I got to have my A1. You never know, these two coming together make the perfect pair, especially when it comes to my meatloaf dishes and my Cajun ribeye. But you're going to learn a lot more about these two, but they're very important to have. So Worcestershire sauce and A1 sauce. And any generic version of those as well works fine. You're not going to know the difference. So according to your budget, get one of those. Steak sauce, Worcestershire sauce. Now, garlic is in just about everything I make, depending on what I'm making, except for my brownies. Just kidding. I still use garlic in my brownies. Anyways, I buy the minced garlic in bulk, and this will go through, I'll go through about maybe a package like this every 3, maybe 4 months. But what I'm trying to say is, you gotta get garlic. I know there's people out there that don't like to use garlic, but believe it or not, when you just use a subtle hint, and just a little bit to start as your base, between garlic and finely chopped onions, they make all the difference in the world between a tasty dish and just a bland, unexciting dish. So anyways, garlic. Minced garlic, you can get the smaller containers if that's all you can afford, but let me just tell you, getting it in bulk saves you time and saves you money, just like I get the oil in bulk. It saves you time and it'll save you money. Now, I'm going to go through a couple sauces that are optional, but I use them, and people always ask me, like, they go, RJ, what's that little hint of flavor that I picked up on that dish? And I'm always happy to share. I don't keep secrets when it comes to my recipes. I use honey sometimes, little generic, little bear honey. I love this stuff, and it's called sriracha. You get it in any international section. I believe it's under the hot sauce, under the Asian food section, and it's got a rooster on it. Make sure you get the one with the rooster on it and the little green top. This sriracha, I don't even know what's in it, but let me just tell you, it's hot. That's why they call it sriracha. That's what you say after you eat that stuff. You go sriracha. Just kidding. Anyways, sriracha, big time, good chili sauce. Honey to mellow stuff, sriracha to heat stuff. 2 other things I like to cook with are Thai-style chili sauce. Love this stuff. This is another really popular item when I want to spice up a dish. And believe it or not, I like to use molasses. It's just got one of those flavors that no matter what I'm cooking, if I want to make something a little sweeter, but not like honey sweet, molasses is right in between. It's just got its own little smokiness and its different flavor. So those are the 4 sauces that are optional: sriracha, molasses, honey, and Thai chili sauce. Those are 4 optional sauces. You don't necessarily have to have in your single dad cooking classes, but they definitely make a huge difference when you start experimenting with your own dishes. Now, there's probably about 5 things you're always going to see sitting in my cupboard, always available. And that's going to be chicken broth, beef broth, French onion soup, a can of olives, and crushed or whole peeled tomatoes. Always a can of this around. And of course, you're probably going to see, Sorry about that. You're always going to see a can of beans, pinto beans, because you never know on the spot when your kids are hungry. I make the world's best bean burritos, bean, cheese, and sour cream burritos. I've got the best dish for that. Just kidding. But anyways, always have this in your kitchen. You never know when you're going to have that last minute dish to prepare for somebody, and you're looking around and you got some proteins frozen in the freezer and you're going to defrost them and you need something to accent them. Pinto beans, crushed or peeled, excuse me, crushed or peeled tomatoes, olives, French onion soup, beef broth, chicken broth. Why these are fundamental is because just about anything you're going to be cooking can always be made into a sauce or a soup or just a standalone entree. And having these extra things in your cupboard gives you the option to turn something into an emergency meal fandango, meaning you could just pull it off. And those are my standard staples on how to equip a kitchen with your main ingredients, herbs, and spices. So we talked about the spices, we talked about some sauces and oils, and we talked about some everyday items in your cupboard. And that concludes this chapter on how to equip your kitchen on Single Deck Cooking.